Hello guys, welcome. Welcome to Ashutosh Coaching. Now today we are going to starting chapter. The chapter name is excretory, excretory, excretory product and their elimination. ओके या तो कोई दिक्कत, यहाँ पे कुछ मिस्टेक कर दिया हुआ, ठीक है। यहाँ पे जेड नहीं था, एक्सक्रेटरी प्रोडक्ट है, ठीक है। यहाँ पे ये थोड़ा सा गलती कर दिया है वो जिसने प्रिंट किया है। अब देखो जरा होता क्या है। ये जो है, चलो अब ठीक है। अब फाइनली अब देखो, एनिमल्स एक्यूमुलेट एनीमिया एंड बोलते नहीं अमोनिया, यूरिया, uric and acid and the carbon dioxide, water ions like sodium plus, potassium, calcium minus, phosphate, sulfate, etc. either by the metabolic activity or by the mean like excess ingestion, and this substance and have to be removed totally and or partially. Ammonia, uric acid are the major forms of the nitrogenous waste and excreted by the humans. Ammonia is the most toxic from the required amount of water and its elimination, whereas uric acid, being least toxic, can be removed with a aluminum with a minimum loss of water. And the process of excreting ammonia is the ammonialism, and many bony fishes, aquatic amphibian and the aquatic insect are ammotalic in nature. Ammonia is as it readily soluble and is generally excreted by the diffusion and across a buoyant surface or through gill surface in fish and as ammonium ions. Kidney do not plays the significant role in its removal, and terrestrial adaptation necessitate and the production of lesser toxic nitrogenous waste like urea, uric acid for the conservative water. Mammals and the many terrestrial amphibians and the marine fishes mainly excrete urea and are called ureotelic animals. Ammonia and produced by the metabolism is converted into urea in the liver. These animals releases into the blood and which is filtered and excreted out by the kidney. Some amount of urea may be retained in the kidney matrix of the sum of these animals to maintain a desired osmolarity. Okay, reptiles, birds and the snails and insect excrete the nitrogenous waste as uric acid in the form of pellet or paste with minimum loss of water, okay, and are called uro ureocotelic animals, okay। उसका देखते हैं एमोनोटेलिक क्या होता है। elimination of nitrogenous waste in the form of ammonia fish, okay, form of ammonia fishes। उसमें देखो, अब देखो यूरियोटेलिक क्या होता है। एलिमिनेशन ऑफ नाइट्रोजनस वेस्ट इन द फॉर्म ऑफ यूरिया एंड एम्फीबिया एंड मेमालिया इज कॉल्ड यूरियोटेलिक, ओके। अब देखो हमको यूरियोकोटेलिक क्या होता है। एलिमिनेशन नाइट्रोजनस वेस्ट इन द फॉर्म ऑफ यूरिक एसिड लाइक रेप्टिलिया, बर्ड्स एंड इंसेक्ट। उसके बाद देखो अब एक्सक्रीटरी ऑर्गन्स में देखोगे तो प्रोटोनेफ्रिडिया और फ्लेम सेल, platyhelminthes, planaria, rotifers, some annelidas and the cephalochordates and the Apioxys, okay, and the Nephridia annelids and the Malpighian tubules insect and the adrenal glands or the green glands, crustacean like prawns. Human excretory system. Human excretory system of the consists of pair of kidney and the pair of ureters and the urinary bladder and the urethra. Kidney are the reddish brown bean shaped and the structural situated between the level of thoracic and the third lumbar vertebrae and the close to the dorsal inner wall of the abdominal cavity. Each kidney of an adult human measure 10 to 12 centimeter in the length and the 5 to 10 centimeter width and 2 to 3 centimeter thickness with the average weight end of 220 to 70 grams. Okay, and towards the center of the inner concave surface of the kidney is a notch called hilum, through the which is ureters, blood vessel and the nervous enter. The inner to the hilum is a broad funnel shaped, and the spaces is called renal pelvic with the projection called calcius. Okay, the outer layer of kidney is a tough capsule. Inside the kidney, there are two zones: outer zone cortex and inner zone medulla. The medulla is divided into a few conical masses, medullary pyramids, and they projecting into a cycle. The cortex in the between the medullary pyramids as renal column, called the column of Bettany. Each kidney has nearly 1 million complex and tubular structures are called nephrons, which are functional unit, and each nephron has two parts: the glomerulus and the renal tubules. The glomerulus is of tuft of capillaries formed by the afferent arterioles and the fine branch of renal artery. The blood from the glomerulus is carried away from an efferentia arteriole. Okay, and the renal tubule begin with a double walled up cup like structure called bounds as capsule and with enclose the glomerulus. The glomerulus along with Bowman's capsule is a called malpighian. Okay, and body or the renal corpuscle. The tubules continues further to form tightly and the coil network and the proximal convoluted tubule. The hairpin shaped and the hinal loop in the is the next part of the tubule, which has a descent and as an ascending limb. An ascending limbs continue as another highly coiled tubular region called distal convoluted tubule DCT. The DCT of many nephrons open into the straight tubule called collecting duct, and the many of which converge and open to the renal pelvic through the medullary pyramid in the calcaeus, and the malpighius and the corpuscle PCT and DCT of the nephron are situated in the cortical region of the kidney, and whereas the loop Henny dips in the medulla into the medulla. In the majority of nephron, the loop of Henny is too short and extends only very little into the medulla. Such nephrons are called cortical nephrons. In some of the nephron, the loop of Henny is a very long and runs deep into the medulla. The nephrons are called juxtamedullary nephron. The efferents and the arterioles emerging from the glomerulus from forms a fining capillary network around the renal tubule called peritubular capillaries. A minute vessel of this network run parallel to the Henny and Henny's loop and the forming a U-shaped vasa recta. Okay, and the vasa recta is the absent or highly reduced it in cortical nephrons. Okay, हाँ उसके बाद mechanism of urine formation. Urine formation involves three main processes: glomerular filtration, selective reabsorption, tubular secretion. ग्लोमेरुलर फिल्ट्रेशन और अल्ट्रा फिल्ट्रेशन क्या होता है जानो? देखो, ऑन एवरेज 1120 या 1120 to 1200 ml of blood is filtrated by the kidney per minute. Okay. The glomerular capillaries blood pressure causes filtration of through the filtration membrane. Third filtration membrane is formed by endothelium of glomerular blood vessel and the epithelium of bounce capsule podocytes and the basement membrane of these two layers. Fourth, epithelial cell of Bowman's and capsule called the podocyte and are arranged in the intricate manner so as to leave some minute spaces called filtration slit or the slit pores. All constituent of plasma pass the filtration membrane except the protein and hence it is called ultrafiltration. Sixth, the amount of filtrate formed by the kidney and the per minute is called glomer glomerular and the filtration rate GFR. 7 GFR is about 125 ml per minute यानी कि 180 लीटर per day. Okay, I think it is not possible to say but it's true. Okay, selected reabsorption क्या होता है? Out of 180 liter of the filtrate formed by every day and 175.85 liter 28.5 liter along with useful material absorbed into the blood and through the peripheral capillaries and leaving 1.5 liters excited in the form of urine and tubular epithelial shell of the different segment of the nephron perform these either active or passive mechanism. Substance like glucose, amino acid, sodium plus and absorbed actively and nitrogenous waste are absorbed by the passive transport and the reabsorption of water also occurred passively in the initial segment of the nephron. Tubular secretion क्या होता है? Tubular secretion add the substance hydrogen plus and the potassium plus and ammonia to the filtrate from the peritubular capillaries. Second है हमारा tubular secretion maintain the ionic and the acid base balance of the body fluid. Proximal convoluted tubule PCT. PCT is a lined by a symbol by a simple cuboidal brush border epithelium which increases the surface area of absorption. All essential nutrients and 70 to 80% of electrolytes and water are the reabsorbed by this segment. Okay. Hmm. PCT also maintain the pH and the ionic balance of the body and the fluids by the selective secret of the H hydrogen plus and the potassium plus and the ammonia into the filtrate and by the absorption of HCO3. अब हिंस लूप क्या होता है? The region plays an important role in the maintenance of high osmolarity and the medullary intestinal fluid and the dependency descending limbs is permeable to the water but impermeable to electrolyte. This concentrate the filtrate as it moves down the descending limbs and the permeable to the electrophyte but impermeable electrolytes. These are therefore as the concentrated filtration passed upward it gets dilute and due to the active or the passive transport of electrolytes and to the medulla fluid. Distal convoluted tubules selected reabsorption of reabsorption of sodium plus and water takes place in this segment. DCT also capable of reabsorption of HCO3 and bicarbonate and selective secretion of the sodium plus and the NH3 ammonia to the maintain the pH and the sodium potassium level in the bond. Collecting duct क्या होता है? This duct extends from the cortex to the inner part of the medulla and larger amount of water could be absorbed from this region to produce concentrated urine and this segment allow the amount of urea into the medullary and intestine and keep the osmolarity. उसके बाद mechanism of contrast concentration of filtrate. Okay, mammals have ability to reproduce and the concentrated urine and hence loop a vasa recta and plays a significant role in the concentrating urine and the flow of filtrate into limbs and two limbs of Henry and the lobes and the blow flow in the two limbs of vasa recta and opposite in opposite direction. Okay, in opposite direction, hence it from the counter current. The proximity between the Henny loop and the vasa erecta as well as the counter in the term them and the help in the maintain and the increasing osmolarity towards the inner medullary and the interstitium and that is from 300 mosmol per liter, and in the cortex is to about 1200 mosmol per liter in the inner medulla. 5. The gradient is the mainly due to the yeah, sodium chloride and the urea, and the sodium chloride NaCl actively transported from the ascending limbs to the hence loop is exchanged by the ascending portion of the vasa erecta. Hmm. अगला है हमारा स्मॉल अमाउंट ऑफ यूरिया enters the thin segment of the acid limbs of the hinge loop and is transported back to the intestine by the collecting tubule. And the 9 number है the above described by transport of substance facilitated by the special arrangement of hinge loop and vasa is called the counter current mechanism. 10 number mechanism help to the maintain and the concentration of gradient in the medullary interstitium and that promote easy to passage and of water and from the collect duct and the leads to the formation of concentrate urine. Regulation by ADH. Osmoreceptor present in the hypothalamus are active by the change of blood volume, body fluid volume, and the ionic concentration, and the excessive loss of body fluid. Active osmoreceptor and the hypothalamus to the release and the antidiuretic hormones ADH and or vasopressin from the neurophysis. ADH facilitate the active reabsorption and of water from the DCT, preventing the diuresis, and an increase in the body fluid volume can switch off and the osmoreceptor and the suppress and the release ADH and the promoting dilute urine formation. ओके, यहाँ तक किसी को कोई दिक्कत की बात तो नहीं होगी। अब आगे देख लो क्या होता है भाई साहब। ADH constraints and the afferential renal arteriole in the increase and the body pressure in the other hand to maintain the GFR. Okay, regulation by the JGA यानी कि juxtaglomerular apparatus. A fall in the glomerular blood flow, then glomerular blood flow pressure or the GFR can be active juxtaglomerular cell into the released renin. Renin converted in the angiotensinogen and in the food to the angiotensin. Okay, first and the further angiotensin second and the angiotensin second constrict the afferent renal arteriole to increase the glomerular blood and the pressure and thereby the GFR. The antinogen only angiotensin second also stimulate the adrenal cortex of to the release aldosterone. Aldosterone cause the active absorption of sodium plus and water from the distal part of the tubules. This increases in the blood volume and GFR. This complex mechanism is called RAAS and renin angiotensin and the adrenaline and system. Regulation of ANE. An increase in the blood flow to the atria and the heart due to the rash caused due to the release and arterial and क्या लिखा हुआ है दिख नहीं रहा है मुझे। हाँ, natriuretic factor ANF. ANF can causes the vasodilation and afferent renal sterols, and thereby the decrease in the blood pressure. ANF also stop the release of renin, hence stop RAS. उसके बाद है मिक्चुरेशन. ओके, क्या है मिक्चुरेशन? The expulsion, the expulsion of urine from the urine bladder. It is a reflex process, but it can be controlled by voluntary and to the some extent in grow up child, adult, and the CNS central nervous system send the signal which causes the stretching of the urine bladder, and when gets filled with urine. In response, the stretch receptor on the walls of the bladders and send signal to the CNS, and the CNS passes on motor passes initiate the concentration of the smooth muscles of bladder and the simultaneously relaxation of the urethral sphincter and causing the releases of urine. An adult excrete on average 1 to 1.5 liters urine per day. On average 25 gram to 30 gram urea excreted per day. Okay, and presence of glucose called glucosidia, and the presence of ketone called ketoria and glyceria, and the ketoria is indicated by the diabetes mellitus. Okay, role of other organs and in excretion. And lungs remove CO2 and 8 liter per day, and water. CO2 secrete the bilirubin and the biliverdin etc. help to the eliminate these substances along with the cholesterol, vitamins, drugs, and degrades steroids through the digestive enzymes. Sweat and the sebaceous gland. These glands of the skin help to the eliminate small amount of urea, NaCl, lactic acid etc. through the sweat, while the sebaceous and the glands help to the eliminate some substances like steroid, hydrocarbon, and wax through the sebum. ओके, क्या है सीबम. उसके बाद आगे क्या कहा है, सीबम का कोई दिक्कत होगा नहीं. सलाइवा क्या होता है? इट कैन हेल्प टू एलिमिनेट द स्मॉल अमाउंट ऑफ नाइट्रोजनस वेस्ट. लास्ट हमारा डिसऑर्डर ऑफ एक्सक्रीटरी सिस्टम, uremia. The accumulation of uremia in blood due to the malfunctioning of kidney and the hemodialysis and the process of removal of urea from the blood artificially. The process of the blood from an artery is passed away in a dialysis unit per adding anticoagulant and like heparin. The blood passes through the cellophane tube and surrounded by the dialysis found fluid and nitrogenous waste from the concentration gradient, and blood became the clear, and the blood is pumped back to the body and through the vein after the anti-heparin into renal alveoli. The formation of insoluble mass of crystal salt oxalated or the phosphate of calcium. The glomerular, क्या लिखा हुआ है, ग्लोमेरुलोनेफ्रिटिस को क्या कहते हैं, inflammation of glomeruli of kidney. So guys, this chapter has been finished. Thanks for watching video till the end. You are a part of journey of NEET. So as you can like, share and subscribe, जितना like share subscribe करे, and I'll see you in next video. Bye bye, tata, see you.